That's right. Now, this is something that, again, is an idea of something that you can make up on your own. And it was something that I was inspired by reading a book.
Okay.
And so we ended up making up the trick.
Cool.
And it goes like this. All right. You're familiar with playing cards, a lot of card games and everything. Mm-hmm. This is called a straight flush. And the reason it's called a straight flush is because you see, well, it's straight up and down like this. And also it's a flush. That means that you've got several cards. You've got a king, queen, jack, 10 of diamonds, and a joker, and jokers are wild.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see if I can read your mind. So I want you to concentrate on any one of these cards. Don't tell me what it is, just think about one card. You got one?
Yep.
I'm going to make a prediction over here. Let me go through all these in just a second here. Nope. Look at me. Okay. I'm gonna go with this one. Got it.
All right.
Okay. I'm committed as to which card that I believe that you had selected.
All right.
And for the first time, tell the rest of the audience what's the card that you're thinking of.
I was thinking of the Jack of Diamonds.
Jack of Diamonds. Now, remember a little bit earlier I said the jokers are wild. There's the Jack of Diamonds right there.
Nice try.
Nice try. That's right. Of course, if I was a real magician, of course, that means that this would be a Jack of Diamonds, this would be a Jack of Diamonds, and that'd be a Jack of Diamonds. They would all be Jack of Diamonds.
Nice. Very nice. I guess the joke's on me.
The Joker. That's right. And I call this straight and wild.
G'day, champion. How you doing? Welcome back to Murphy's Magic Saturday Sorcery. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're having an absolutely class Saturday. And it's about to get extra classier with the legendary Scott Wells popping in to teach us a beautiful piece of magic. But before we get into today's episode, I do want to tell you about this week's giveaway. If you want a chance to win the card magic bundle, all you need to do is stick around to later on in this episode, and I'll show you how to enter that very competition. Now, today's effect is an excerpt from Scott Wells' At the Table lecture, and this lecture is absolutely phenomenal. And if you want to see more on this very lecture, I'll have a link to it in the description below. Alright, enough of me flapping my gums. You've seen Scott perform his effect straight and wild, so let's learn it.
Great.
And it's one of those things that whenever that I had made it up, I have to admit that my friend Don Weiberg, who is, again, he was a past president of the IBM International President.
Who don't you know? God.
Friend of magicians worldwide. And he was over at the house one time down from Chicago, and he was looking through some of my books, and he saw this one by Alan Wakeling. It was a Jim Steinmeier book. And the idea was, in his case, that he had a card that was made up, which this has then too. That's your gimmick card. And in his case, that he had a black art well table. So as he had this, then this card would drop into that black art well, basically, at the right time, and the rest of the cards, would be out.
Okay.
So we started looking at that and thinking, well, it's a cool gimmick. Now, this was, golly, I don't know how many years ago. But the idea was, I thought, okay, why not make it so this way that it's going to be then a little bit tacky, having some temporary adhesive glue on it.
Got it.
So this way that actually that it would seal the card, then like that. Mm-hmm. But it will come apart fairly easy. Now the way that you do that is that I just take a little template and put it over there. So I spray actually just the parts of the faces of the card. In fact, you can kind of see it. The light hits it just right. This is more dull, you see, than the others over there. So that way that this is still slick. So this way that it's not the whole card, so you don't get that, whatever. Yeah. But it's tacky enough, it's going to be on there. And again, it's that. And so I'm just kind of pressing it, like that. So again, whenever you put it down on the floor or wherever, you see that it stays exactly where it's supposed to. So that the idea is that, so I took some cards, and thank you. So I took the cards and that were the diamonds and put them on my printer in this order, like that, and then printed them out, and then just put that on an adhesive paper, and then stuck it onto a big jumbo card.
Okay.
and then put the rest of this all together. And then came up with this idea because I just think it works like this much better. It's much cleaner. And so I wrote to Jim Steinmeier and I said, would you ask Alan Wakeling whether this is okay? Do you think that this is different enough from his that I can actually market this idea? I mean, is it different? And he wrote back and he said, I talked to Alan. He said, it is different. He said, his is, handled a little bit differently. Yours is fine. He said, just send him a few bucks and, as a thank you, which I did. And so I came up with this idea. But yes, it's a trick that I market, but it's something I believe that you can make, certainly, because, again, just taking some cards and printing it out, putting it onto a card. I told you, how to just put some stickum on that. Yeah. And then once that you line that up over there, then on the back, then the way these are lined up, it's going to be, I've got it. You see where the line is right above the circle on the rider back. So it goes right underneath. You see, like this. Wait a minute. Just a minute.
The crediting, too. I think that's important that a lot of people these days, they kind of skip over the crediting. So while you're setting that up, I just thought I'd mention that while it's a small piece of that story, I think it's one that's important for magicians to remember.
That's right. Because everything that I'm showing you here, I'm standing on the backs of giants.
We all are.
These are my presentations for some other guys' ideas, and people are going to watch this and going to say, well, that's my... I was at MindVention one year, and I was sitting next to Max Maven. There was a guy that was talking, and Max goes, that's my idea. That was such and such. That's from my blue book. That's from my... It's like, wow, so I'm sure that a lot of these things, people are going to say, well, yeah, it's something different. So you see what I've done is that on the back of this, that you kind of lined them up, kind of stair-step them a little bit. Now, here's another key part that I think that sells this trick, is that you're showing it this way. Let me back up that I've got this clip that goes over there, and you notice it goes over the Joker then to begin with. So this is sitting then down on my table then to begin with.
Oh my giddy aunt, this is getting awesome, but I am so sorry. I need to take a break for just a tiny wee second. Limber up those arms, break down those legs. Don't know what that means, but we're gonna have a giveaway. But before we get into today's giveaway, we need to find out who won last episode's bundle. So who will it be this week, you reckon? I reckon it's this legend right here. Congratulations, my friend. You're the winner of last episode's bundle. So if you could DM me on any of Murphy's socials, I'll get that prize straight out to you. Now on to this week's giveaway. If you want a chance to win the Card Magic Bundle, all you need to do is comment in the comment section below, what is your favorite deck of cards? Is it the Red Cherry Bees, the Orbit V1s, or the Howling Jacks Ristrettos? Whatever it is, throw them down in the comment section below. Then on next episode's Saturday Sorcery, I'll draw a name out at random and you'll be announced on that episode. So, good luck. Now, champion, are you enjoying what you're watching right now? Because I have good news for you. In the Saturday Sorcery playlist, we have over 100 episodes, which means over 100 free tutorials. So make sure you go check out that playlist. There'll be a link in the description below. Go treat yourself to all that free magic. Because you deserve it.
Table then to begin with. And as I'd pick it up like this, and I would talk about this being a straight flush. And as I'm doing that, then I don't want to leave that too long because some might see that there's not the 3 dimension of this. Mm-hmm. So I'll turn it over this way and say, you see, it's a straight flush. And then as I'm doing that, you see, then that shows they are all separate cards. Yeah. But the point is now that because that this is over the Joker, when I remove that, you still get to see this without me taking it off on this side. You see, it's a small thing. You're just trying to, let them see the full face of the Joker index that's over there. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying I want you to concentrate on any one of these cards, keeping in mind that the Jokers are wild. And so this would be a straight flush because you would have the King up through 10 plus. This could be an ace or it could be a 9, whatever, to make that. Now, as you do that, then I turn it towards myself. So they, again, just see the backs of this. And this is important, too, because as I'm putting it on my chest and I'm pushing it down and that's coalescing, you see, they see all those cards individually go down. Mm-hmm. And then whenever I do, then I just press it as I'm starting to go through the cards. I mean, now it's done. I mean, that card is, is stuck.
That's great.
So this way you can kind of go through and you can pull one up and or another one and do whatever and then put it down. So that way you're finished. And now, if you don't have a deck of jumbo cards, then you can always do.
Bum, bum, bum. Aha, very nice.
the pocket size,
Yeah.
which just fits perfectly, in your pocket.
Cool.
This way, you're going to be ready to at any time. That's already prepared. And instead of having a clip, as we had over here, we're just going to be using then a paper clip.
Oh, right on.
It's going to be there. Same thing, 5 cards, and that you're going to be having that one gimmick card. It's going to be, covering that right there. So again, after they had selected a card, then the nice thing is, again, that this is a carry around or walk around thing, and it's boom,
Love it.
Yeah. So my point is that when you are looking at ideas that are made by the masters in all these great books, I've got almost close to 1,000 books in my library, and which, by the way, Jay Marshall made a good recommendation. That is, it's never too late to start indexing your library. I don't care how many you have in your library.
Very smart.
You need to start indexing them to know what it is that you have. And what I do is to know that I've got this, and I put it into an Excel spreadsheet, and it's easy enough. Certainly to put in there the name, the title, the author, the publisher, the date it was printed, the edition number, the print number, where it was printed, whether it's close-up, stage, illusion, history, cards, lecture notes, whatever it happens to be, the price of it, which is important for your heirs to get this eventually then too.
I didn't think of that. You're right.
Yeah, and then once that you have that in the spreadsheet, then I have a book plate, which I put in. So if I have a book in my library that doesn't have a book plate in it, that I know it's not in my index.
Got it.
So I went to the print shop and I had some book plates made. It says Ex Libris Scott Wells, and it was just a funny drawing that I had of. You may have seen this. It's a rabbit that's sitting on one side and watching this other rabbit do silhouettes. And he's going like this, and he's got his ears, and so the silhouette looks like a hand behind him, the way that with the ears and the way the rabbit is there. Well, you get it. Anyhow, so that's what I've got as my book plate. And that's another thing, people collect all kinds of things. I mean, they do collect book plates and things like that too. Mm-hmm. So anyhow, that's important, I think, that you keep track in your library. But once you go through the library, that don't look at it as, okay, this is the way that it has to be done.
Well,
you look at the presentation, you look at the pattern, and then throw it away. Think about what it is that fits you. What is your personality? Mm-hmm. I like it whenever people are saying to me, I don't know whether you're getting ready to tell me a real story or you're getting ready to set me up for a trick or something, because I'm the same on or off stage.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to try to be, a regular guy, but also, as Jeff will probably say, is to be ready at a moment's notice if necessary.
Well, I mean, when you set me up for the first trick, I really thought you had been sick recently, so I didn't know. You blurred the line pretty good, man.
There we go.
You blurred it.
Oh, look at these absolute champions. You guys are the best. It's true. I've Googled it. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. The arms are all limbered up. The legs are all broken down. So thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you do want to see more on Scott Wells's At the Table lecture, like I mentioned, there's a link in the description below, or you can get it worldwide at your favorite magic shop for $9.95. Now, you cutie patootie, you're too cute to be sitting around watching this ugly mug. Get out of here, go enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you on our Discord right now, where we're having jams, trivia, games, hangouts, and even more. Or I'll see you on another YouTube episode. Take care, my friend. See you later. Whoa, hey, what's that? Oh, you should definitely check out that. Oh, there's so much good magic in there. You won't regret it. Hey, whoa, hey, look at this bad boy. You should definitely subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe, then watch that. Oh, it's a good day to treat yourself.